Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Lily Brooks O'Brien about Life by Ella on Apple TV+. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to talk to you guys.
I'm really excited to chat with you. I mean, it's exciting. We'll get into the show, which is pretty awesome. It's an exciting time for you, so congratulations on that. But specifically, I mean, storytelling, acting, it's all storytelling, whether you're an actor, director, even like musician and everything. What drove you towards storytelling, would you say specifically?
Yeah, so ever since I was little, I loved music, I loved acting, I loved performing. That was like what I always loved doing. Like when I was, I think 4 or 5 years old, I was obsessed with Taylor Swift, and she is one of the biggest storytellers in music, in my opinion. Like the way she just tells a story with her lyrics was always something that I was incredibly intrigued by.
Yep.
So I used to put on little Taylor Swift concerts in my living room or in my kitchen for my parents and my brother and sister, and I just always loved doing that. So when I discovered theater and how much storytelling goes into theater and
Yep.
acting, I knew that was something that I wanted to do. So I convinced my mom to let me do like a theater camp, and kind of the rest is just history. I discovered my passion for telling stories and for putting myself in other people's shoes, and being able to just tell a story, like an important kind of story, is something that I love doing, and I'm really grateful that I get to do every day.
That was a timely reference too. Taylor Swift's new record is out right now too,
Yes.
right?
It's so good. I love it. I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. So
The whole internet like exploded when that album came out.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure like many people from around the world were like listening to that album at the same time.
Oh my gosh, everyone was. I remember when she released the 3 a.m. tracks, I went into, because my sister was asleep. It was really late.
Yeah.
And I went into my sister's room. I said, Hannah, she released 7 more songs. And Hannah like just sprung out of bed. She said, no way.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah, because content's so global. You even look at your show, like Life by Ella, when it was dropped on Apple TV Plus and everything, it came out like different time zones. Like some people already had a chance to see it before certain people, right? Because
I know some people had a chance to see it before I even got to see it. So that was crazy.
Absolutely. What can you tell us specifically about this show without kind of super big spoilers? I mean, you know, it's one of those things. I feel like it's always difficult, right, for actors to kind of talk about a show without giving up too many spoilers. But I think there's a happy medium we can find with Life by Ella. What can you tell us specifically about it?
Yeah, so Life by Ella is the story of an amazing girl named Ella who is in remission for cancer.
Yep.
She had a type of cancer called rhabdomyosarcoma, and she was in treatment for about a year in the hospital. So she had to leave school, leave her friends, and cancer really took over her life. And now that she's in remission, she's kind of getting back to her old life and kind of getting used to this new normal that she has, while also kind of taking on this new perspective in life that she just kind of discovered through being in treatment for cancer, because Ella really discovered that you only have one chance to live your life.
Yep.
And she's been given this second chance that not everyone gets, and she knows she isn't going to want to waste it. So she's also kind of taking on that new seize the day mentality that she has, and also learning how to deal with this new life that she's going, and this new journey that she's going on with her friends and her family. And it's a really, really cool story. So you guys should definitely check it out on Apple TV Plus.
And it's interesting too, because, you know, in terms of you preparing for this show, I mean, the whole point of the show, in my opinion, is kind of what you said, seize the day, but doing a lot of kind of self-reflection, right? Which I think is a really big one as well. Was that kind of the mindset as well with it, that this is, a very special story, but these characters are doing a lot of self-reflection, a lot of soul-searching as well?
Absolutely. I mean, something about the show that I loved about it is that it taught me and all of my co-stars a lot about ourselves.
Yep.
I learned a lot from my character. Just Ella's such a wise 13-year-old.
Yep.
She knows so much more, and she's been through some stuff that not everyone goes through, and that really changes you, and that changes your mindset. And while I myself haven't been through those things, I feel like everyone can really relate to this story in the sense
Yeah.
that a lot of the times we take for granted our day-to-day life and just those little things that we get to do, like walking our dogs and going out and having lunch with friends
Yep.
or going to the arcade, just those little things that you kind of do all the time that you forget are special things. I feel like a lot of people do that. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to realizing that you only have one chance in life
Yep.
and need to learn, especially I myself needed to learn that lesson while filming. And Ella has taught myself a lot about life and a lot about myself as a person. So I hope that that's something that people can take away from watching the show.
And it's interesting too, because in terms of, working on this show and being on set and preparing and everything, I mean, you explained it. I mean, it is very like I can imagine that a lot of scenes specifically too, where it discusses a lot of things and the remission and everything, it was very emotional for you at times to play this role and everything. So in terms of like working on the show, making sure you had that kind of support system, because I feel like it is going to be an emotional time working on this show, Lily.
It definitely was. So I would say that one of my favorite parts about filming the show, I have so many like favorite parts of filming the show, is just the support system that we had on set. Everyone was so kind and so supportive of everyone else on the show, because it takes a lot of work, to create a TV show. There's so many different parts.
Shout out to the crew, right? Give them a shout out right now.
Shout out to our incredible crew. I mean, everyone, especially our set PA and our base camp PAs, Yanni and Jason. They saved my life so many times during filming for this, making sure that I ate, making sure that I had water. Because a lot of the times when you're in those emotional states while acting, you can forget that there's little things here and there that you need to do for yourself, for your body, for your physical health. So I had some amazing people on set making sure that I took care of myself while filming the show. And I'm so grateful for them and how supportive everyone else was on the crew and also our cast. Because having a good scene partner and someone to really listen to you is such an important part of being an actor.
Yep.
And I had some incredible scene partners while filming the show. Kevin Rom, who plays my dad, we had some really tough and emotional scenes together. And those scenes are some of my favorites. They were also some of my favorites to film just because Kevin is such an incredible scene partner.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm just really grateful I'm grateful for the support system that I had on set. Sadly, my mom wasn't with me a lot of the time on set, which is something that I had really gotten used to as a child actor, just having my mom there supporting me. But she was there every other week. So it was really good to get to have her, there every once in a while. But I think I learned a lot about myself while filming, and the support system that I had on set was really just amazing.
In terms of mindsets and preparation, is it all storytelling for you? Whether you're working on, Life by Ella or the Big Show, is it all like storytelling, or does it depend on the project where it becomes a different kind of mindset each one?
I feel like the goal of any actor when doing a project is to tell a story that's important and to tell a story that means something and to tell a story that is going to connect with someone.
Mm-hmm.
While not everyone, has been through what Ella has been through, I feel like pretty much everyone can relate to that feeling that she's going through. I mean, especially something that really stood out to me is that going through the pandemic that we all went through in 2020, I think a lot of people realized that those little things that you take for granted are stuff that you're not always going to have.
Well, the self-reflection, like we were talking about, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, just storytelling and, just I feel like that's something that every actor loves doing. I love getting these scripts and really connecting to them and learning. I feel like every time I read the scripts again, I learn something new about the character, about the story, or about other characters in the show. And I just love that about acting.
Is that also like that for sure, but also like you get to kind of be immersed in all these different worlds. I feel like that's kind of like one of the best parts about it too.
Absolutely. I'm being able to kind of put myself in someone else's shoes and put myself in a different world. Like the first role that I ever played was Dolph Lundgren's daughter in a shark like a shark movie called Shark Lake.
Yeah.
And that was a very interesting movie to film. It was my first movie that I ever did. And it was so crazy to be able to put myself in this world, like this shark movie that was scary at times, but then fun and sentimental. And that's just one of the best parts of acting. And, when I played Matilda on the national Broadway tour of Matilda the musical, every day I was doing the same show over and over again for 7 months, which can sound exhausting. And, it can sound like you might get sick of the show, but as an actor, you find ways to discover new things about the character, discover new things about the story that make that make it exciting, and make it feel new every night that you're doing it.
It's funny you mentioned Matilda because, for a lot of actors, theater is where they learn their craft, and that's kind of where it all starts and everything. But I was on stage crew for my high school productions.
No way, that's awesome.
So there is such a rush, the morning of a performance. Like the morning, like you wake up, you're like, we're performing in front of people that whole day, not like a couple of hours before, Lily. Like, don't you find there's like a rush, there's an energy like the day of a performance?
I felt like, so I performed 3 times a week when I was on Matilda, because we had 3 Matildas that were kind of rotating throughout the entire
yeah, that's a thing that happens that I don't think people know. That's a misconception about theater. Yeah.
Yeah, those 3 days that I had performing every week, every single day that I was performing, I would wake up with this like adrenaline rush, and it lasted me all day. And
okay, yeah. So you know where I'm coming from.
Exactly. The entire time I was just very like excited all day. And my mom was like, you need to get school done, Lily. And I'm like, but I have to go over my lines. She's like, you know them. You've been doing this for 6 months. I'm like, I know, but I got to go over them again. But no, I love theater, especially those few moments before going on stage. You're like freaking out. And then once you get on stage, you feel so supported by everyone else around you. And all the nerves just kind of wash away and you just have fun.
Yeah, I'm going down memory lane now. We did The Princess and the Pea. We did Go Ask Alice. We did The Diary of Anne Frank. We did a lot. And high school productions, I went to a school that was known for its performing arts. It's interesting because it was when I went to the school, it was like a school that had a strong performing arts section, but now it's like straight up like a performing arts school.
Performing arts school. I only did 1 year of performing arts school, and then I went to homeschool because I was like, normal school is not for me. I need to do homeschool.
Yeah.
But I will say that 1 year that I went to performing arts school, I learned a lot. And I went to go see their performance of West Side Story, the high school performance of it. And oh my God, it looked like a Broadway production. And I was like, the amount of work that these high schoolers put into these performances and these shows is just on another level.
Well, for Go Ask Alice, because it's like a house and everything, we had to we made like a kitchen with like running water. Like it was crazy. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really crazy. Oh man, no, that's a trip down memory lane for sure. The stage, you learn so much though, even when you're not on stage. Like you learn so much about the production. It's the coolest thing. That's why it's important. We always got to shout out the crew. Shout out to the crew.
Yes, crews are incredible and they work so hard. Honestly, harder than I do. And I'm just so grateful for everyone that made Life by Ella a thing. And all of my projects, the crew have just been so kind and so amazing. I will say, when I was on Life by Ella, we had the most amazing camera operators. I made best friends with them the entire time we were filming.
Yeah.
And every single time we would start a new scene, my tradition was I would do the little clapboard thing and I would stick my tongue out. And it was our thing. I would call the
clapboard. It was like a routine almost. Yeah.
I would call the scene, I would do the clapboard, and then I go like that, and everyone would just laugh, and it was our favorite thing, just to kind of get the energy going for the scene.
Absolutely.
Those days can be long. Filming days can get so long, and finding ways to make it fun and finding ways to make it just energetic is always so important, especially as the lead of the show. You really set the tone for the entirety of the cast and crew. And my goal every single day going to set was to make everyone feel like they were just having a blast, and just to make everyone forget about the fact that we've been working a 12-hour day. Just act like everything's great and fun, and do have like a little dance party. And we had one day where we were filming outside and it was freezing and everyone was like shivering. And I was like, guys, let's have a dance party, because they were setting up another shot that we were doing, and we all just had a dance party outside, and it just made everyone so much more energetic for the rest of the day.
I love to hear that. That's so awesome. Lily, thank you for joining me on Popternative. It was so great chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great talking with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Life by Ella on Apple TV Plus. They could check that out. Instagram, I think, is the best way for them to keep up to date with everything going on with Lily Brooks O'Brien, right? Is it just your name?
Just my name, Lily Brooks O'Brien, on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. And on Twitter, it's I am Lily Brooks.
Oh, yeah, all the social medias, absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Look out for Life by Ella on Apple TV Plus. Until next time, this is Lily Brooks O'Brien and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.